Welcome to Training 2 for the ServiceNow Project and Portfolio Management module. So, in order to get to start creating tasks, you must create a project form and save it. So I've taken the liberty of doing that ahead of this video. And you can see I've got all the required fields filled in. So let's go down and look at the related list that has now appeared for project task. You might notice that when you create a project for the first time and you haven't saved it, if you scroll down, you actually won't see this stuff immediately. It basically ends right above where my cursor is now. And so once you enter in the information and save it, you're able to access the task tables and stuff in the background. Okay, let's go ahead and create a task. This is the most basic way to create a task. Go down to the related list and click on new. So we can give it a name. Okay, it also has a task number. This is automatically generated, similar to project number. We have a time constraint selection that we can opt for. You can either have it start as soon as possible or start on a specific date. We have time constraint. Our options for this consist of starting as soon as possible or starting on a specific date. The default is start as soon as possible. Now, this functionality here with the next couple fields, planned start date, planned end date, and planned duration, mirrors that of the project form. So you can punch in a number of days for the task and then automatically adjust the planned end date. It's important to note that ultimately all the tasks that you enter are what make up the project beginning and end date. So if you fill out the project form and you have a number of days there and then you end up making tasks that don't match that, or really as soon as you make tasks, they overwrite that information. Okay, so for the next field here, we have estimated labor hours. So here we can enter in the number of hours that we estimate over that duration. We have states. Once you create a task, it's in an open state. You can put it in pending if it's, well, it'll go in pending if it's going to start at a later date. And then, of course, there's work in progress and a couple close options. You can also see the project is not on hold. That's something that affects tasks. It puts that on hold, and so that's visible here. You can also see that this project is not set to billable. The next field is the assignment group. This allows you to select an assignment group and assign a task to an assignment group. So if you have a group of developers that you're working with and you would like to assign a task to multiple people, you can just leave it right there like that. And so in terms of the groups, those will be set up to mirror manager resource relationships similar to ChangePoint. So if we wanted to be specific, we could have chosen a person to assign this task to, and that actually would have automatically selected a group that they were in. And if there is an issue in which a person is not in a group in the system, which can happen, you can simply create an incident to have them added, and that can be taken care of. So resource rate is a required field. And we have basically a list similar to what you would have found on the project worksheet in ChangePoint. However, this list is considerably less. It's worth pointing out that if you select one of the two variable rates, you will get an additional box to enter in the rate selection. So for this, we'll just simply give it a development rate. That's the standard rate decided by DTS every year. Currently, that's $74. You can select whether the task is on call, and then this field here just captures who in fact created the task. You can also provide a description of what the task is supposed to achieve. And then we can save this. Okay. At this point, we now have a related list for the task as well. We could actually create subtasks on the task. We have a cost that's been calculated based off the estimated labor hours and the rate selected. And this will roll up to the project form. You'll also notice that there's a work notes section. So this is something that a resource will see. They do not see all the fields of the project task. However, when they do work on the project task, they can put work notes down. They can save that. They can also access their time card and create that from here. Now I'm back at the project level, and we have that task, all the information there. That's one way to create a task. That's the simplest way to create a task, just a single task. You can also start to create a task here by clicking in this area. This is a list of tasks, and so if you start creating information for a task, it will save it as a task. So we could put here, and all of a sudden that's a task. I can click into that, of course, and fill out the required information. I could also put many of the required fields on that view, the previous view, the list view, and fill out things from there. Very similar to the project worksheet in ChangePoint. I'll put a little % complete here so we can see that in the list view. Okay. Alright, so we have that task created as well now. Another way to create a task kind of combines the list view approach and creating multiple tasks at once. Actually kind of combines all three processes. Okay, so this will create 3 tasks. I clicked up here in the project form header, or I'm sorry, the form header, and this provides a little context menu. This is a right click, clicked in project task creator. So I just created 3 tasks, and they all have their name, auto created task name. And you can go through the list and fill them out here. You can break this up a little bit more. actually change this to more specific. Okay. We can also go through and, change information about the number of days we think this will take. Get specific with different people that are on the task. So maybe Paul is working more time. Jake's about to go on a long vacation, so we only have 10 days for him. So we've now created at least a rough idea. So this is great for planning, and then you don't necessarily have to fill out very detailed information, and you can have some tasks laid out. That's really great to also, build your budget, because the estimated budget in the project form is all derived from the budget here that you have. And so you can enter that in, save each of these tasks, and of course you have to put in the required information. Yeah, save the task here, and then you get a total amount there based off the rate and estimated hours. Another thing from this view, and in combination with creating multiple tasks that you have to edit, you can click on the arrow buttons over here to navigate through the tasks. So here you can go ahead and enter in the information, change anything you need to as you're going through, and then go ahead and save and move on. So here you can see I'm creating a lot of information in these tasks fairly quickly. It's pretty easy to move through these forms. Let's see, whoops. Okay. May have one more task here I didn't fill out. Let's make sure. I think we got. This is the one. Okay. I'm not sure what I clicked. Must have clicked the wrong thing there. Okay, so now I have created my tasks. As a result, I've put the hours in there. As a result, I have the budget, the estimated budget. So I'm pretty much ready to go. So in addition to that functionality here, you'll also notice that you can do a copy a partial project. So you can copy a task from this project. You could copy a task from another project if you're doing a number of projects that start out with similar functions, or you find yourself always doing a startup work. You can build that into a task and make use of it regularly. So that is something you can do. Then there's also the copy project functionality. If you copy, you can actually copy an entire project using this copy partial project. You can enter a project number in here, and it just can't be the current project. And so that's very useful. And then you can name that there. You can also import projects from Microsoft Project, which is pretty useful if you've used that tool and you need to put everything in here very quickly. That's something you can do. That, by the way, would be import project under administration. It's worth noting that once you create the tasks for your project and your group, they can easily find them off of the application navigator. They can simply type in my work, and here they'll see my tasks. So this would be tasks that are specifically assigned to them. I have many because of just test projects. And then these are tasks that are assigned to your group, but they're not assigned to an individual. So these would be the kind of tasks that were set up, you know, for a group of people, and they can go here, they can go to the task, they can enter their work notes on the task. And then they can actually go in and create a time card for that task. From the task. So, and now you're seeing you were seeing some of the time card, and that'll actually be in the next video. That concludes this video training. Thank you for watching.